there and welcome back. Right now we're about to get into a little bit of creative expression. The way I'll be starting this particular lesson is with some FaceTime here. After this you won't see me for a little bit because I'll be showing you everything step by step in regards to how to create a website. And your students will actually be creating through this process a website that relates to their comic, and I'll show you how to create the different menus and put images in there and text and titles and headings and all that good stuff. Basically, the cat, if you recall, was in corner number 2, stands for creative expression. This is all about creating something. Here your students are going to be creating a website. I'll take you through 2 rounds. Round number 1, I'll give you all of the skills and I'll show you everything that your students will need to know, and I'll make it a step-by-step process. And for round 2, I'll talk a little bit about the actual student work and what they'll be doing and what to expect there. Thank you very much. By the way, the website, www.wix, that's wix.com. It's a great website for creating other websites. It's kind of like a click this, drop it here, click this, drop it here. It makes it as easy as possible for someone to create a website. It's also great. The usaexperience.org website was created with Wix. That's kind of where I got the idea from. And we'll be moving right into how to create a website. Thank you very much. Hi, how's it going and welcome back. What I'd like to show you currently is how to create a website. So right now we'll be getting started. If you take a look right up here in the address bar, really simple, we're going to move on to a different website. The website is called the web address is www.wix.com. wix.com. After that, of course, you want to go to the actual website. We'll give it a few seconds here. It's a pretty simple website to use for creating other websites, so to say. And here it is. It's loading up. So if you take a look right up here as this is kind of loading, to show you a little bit about it, basically you would want to come over and actually sign up if you're new to it. Notice there are 2 parts here. One part says login, the other says sign up. If you're new to the website, of course you want to sign up. It's really easy. All you have to do is type in an email address, one that maybe you use on a regular basis, and then a password that you will be able to remember. After that, all you have to do is sign up. If you have already signed up and you've logged in a few times already, it would be simple right after that. Just type in your address or your email address, type mine in here, and then of course type in your password. You want to log in at that point. Nothing new for you guys, as you've already created accounts with Prezi and other different sites here. I'm simply going to walk you through as if I was going to create a website from scratch. Here goes. Up here at the very top portion of the site, you'll notice that it says create. I would want to click on create. After you click on create, it brings you to this kind of template portion or template page. Here you can click on a bunch of different templates, and a lot of the work is already done for you. But rather than giving my student a template, I want to go with a blank one. Notice it's right up here, and I'll see if I can highlight it here. Oh, no highlighting, but I'll click it. Notice the color changed to black. Blank templates, right in this area. So you'd click on blank templates. It would move you right to blank templates. Notice these are a few different ideas. Here's a portfolio layout. Here's a long website, here's a left navigation website, here's a bottom navigation website, a top navigation website, and finally my favorite, a blank template. Simply come down here. If you click on view, it's just going to show it to you. You want to click on edit. Once you click on edit, it'll open up a new browser for you, And this is very similar to Sumo Paint in the sense that it'll open up a whole new page for you, and this is where you'll be doing all of the work out of. If it would load up here shortly. And as that's loading, let me show you one thing here. A few things for you as you're taking a look, just so that you're aware. When you're here, say for example you wanted to switch over to your account, like if you've already saved your work, you would click on my account and it brings you to this area. In this area you can check out the work that you've done, and to continue with any work that you may have, all you have to do is click on edit. If you want to create something new, you would simply click on create. And for whatever odd reason that's not loading, we'll try it one more time. Create. From create, we'll move right on to a blank template. So you'd click on that one more time. After blank template, simply click on edit. And round 2. And here it goes. Notice you'll see this little portion. It's basically going to load. It's at 1%. For whatever odd reason, my internet here is running somewhat slow. And here it goes. We'll give it a few seconds. Basically some things I'm going to show you how to do today. We've already gone through a few of the opening, or sorry, I should backtrack a little bit. We've gone through the opening of the lesson where I showed you how to get to the address bar, how to create an account, how to log in after creating an account, and after you log in with creating the account, how to click on create at the top of the page, then blank template at the left hand side of the page. That's basically what we had run through. That's the entire opening of the lesson, in case you wanted to check that out. Okay, so before I do anything, I'm going to get this area on here that says main page. All I'm going to do is click it, and if you notice when you click it, you can drag it and then click on the trash can. Okay, the reason why I did that is I want a completely blank canvas here. Think of the way an artist would work. When they're working, a lot of times they start with something that's blank and fill it in. Fill it in. From there, over here, so we're going to focus a little bit on the background. So a master page is where we're going to start. With a master page here, I'm going to select one. I'm just going to pick a random color for you. We'll go with brown, kind of like this one. And if you notice, now it's on my page. Okay, so what next? Say you wanted to continue with kind of like the overall look. I'd click on background, master page again. Now I want to add a frame to it. I'm just going to look for something really quickly here. Don't like anything here. Gonna keep searching through. So if you notice, one thing I'm also showing you is that there are truly quite a few different types of frames that you can select from. So I found one that I like here. We'll go with this splatter look. And all you have to do is click it, and then it kind of comes out on the page. There's one thing I want to show you right now before we move on. At this point in time with the lesson, I'd basically review the various elements of art from our previous lesson that focused on the alligator or artistic perception, where we were talking a lot about the vocabulary words. Right after that point, I'd get into discussing this more in depth. Okay, so I showed you how to create a background. You went master page. Just from here, selected whatever you like. You can pick on the colors here. After that, I added a frame. Then I went through all the different ones that are offered, and I found the one that I really liked. Here's what I want to show you next. If you notice, right up here there's a little red lock. The little red lock represents something. If you click it, you will unlock it. What do I mean by unlock and lock? If you lock something, then you can no longer move it. It becomes set in place. I tend to lock things when I'm creating like my final project or my final product. After that, because some of your students will definitely ask, well, hey, what is the sight portion of this? And then right away you can simply tell them that, notice here I'm gonna go with the dark color. We'll say something like black. After that, click OK, then OK again. Notice now the outer portion changed colors and now that's black. So we created we created a background. That's kind of like the beige thing we're looking at here. Then I found a frame, which was the splatter effect. Then I went to sight, clicked on it, and I changed the sight background color. Okay, so we got through those steps. The next thing, we also reviewed how to lock and unlock an image. So I would unlock it, and now I can move it. Then once it's in place, I'd click it, click on the little lock. It's on the bottom left hand corner once you click it, and now it's locked in place. Okay, next thing, add. I want to add text. So there are a few different types of text. If you notice, we'll start off with a title right in this area. I'd click on title. I'm just going to select one here. I'll go with, what am I interested in here? Finding something I like here. I will go with Irving. Looks a little bit different. By the way, once you pick one that you like, to edit it, you can do one of two things. You can either double click it and do it that route, or you can click it once and then simply click on the edit portion and you get to the same process. After that, I'm going to make up a title. This is a test with an exclamation mark. After that, you can drag it out to make it bigger. Or another thing that you can do is simply edit, highlight it all again, and change the font size right up at the top. Say I don't like it at that size, I'll simply make it 55. Dragging it is a much faster way of changing the size. This is a test, so now you see that part. Cool. Next thing I want to show you how to do. By the way, right now if you wanted to, you could lock it. Now it's locked in place, won't be able to move it until of course you unlock it. After that, I would click on text again, paragraph. Here's what I want to show you. There are a few different types depending on your background. So if I have a light background, I want to go with a black colored text. If I have a darker background, I want to go with a white colored text. This way it stands out more and it's easier for the reader to see, or for the viewer to see. So I'm going to go with a simple text here. All I did was clicked it. Then you could simply drag it right to where you needed it to be. I'd click on edit again. I'm just going to delete a portion of it, backspace. This is a test. With a few other, this is a test. After that, basically, you get the hint. I could continue typing just random letters here for the sake of this, for the sake of showing you. And I'll leave it at that here. Ideas, you can resize this. You can make it wide. You can make it somewhat narrower. You can drag it to wherever you want it. After that, you can click it and lock it. Okay, so we just reviewed how to add a title, text, title. We reviewed how to add a paragraph. One more time, simple text. Drag it to where you need it to go, and I'll just delete this real quick so it's out of our way. Now I'll show you the next thing, how to add a note. This is kind of cool for backgrounds to the text. Here's just kind of a funny one. You can do this one of two ways. You can add a note. A note is, I'll simply show you one example. All I did was click it, move it right over here. To edit this, double click it. You can double click it to get in, or again you can simply, let me get out of there, click it once, then click on edit from the side where it says right here. I'm simply going to click or type in "this is a test." Okay, so it's a little too big apparently. I'm going to drag it, and let me bring this up here. Come back, click it, and I'm going to drag it to make it smaller. And now I have it, and it fits right into what I need. Okay, so say for example you don't like this writing, or it doesn't suit you, you can simply delete it. And hey, take a look at this. I am now going to take this paragraph and show you how to put it on top of this. You can do one of two things. Drag it over, then, and by the way, this stuff is not in your lesson plan. Just thought I'd point that out real quick. This is something extra. So you would drag it. After that, right click it, and then move forward. And if you notice, now it's in front of that note. Okay, say you wanted to now add a paragraph, or excuse me, we just added a paragraph. Say now you wanted to add a picture. You can do this one of two ways. You can go clip art, and there are tons of different ideas for clip art that you can incorporate here, or you can do something different and click on pictures. Here I like to click on Wix, and I'm simply going to type one in like animals. Say for example I was doing a project on animals. I'll click this one, clicked it, now it's in. Now what I'm going to do is resize this so that my picture fits in, and kind of include it here. And that's the idea. Of course you can play with it more so that it fits your needs better. Reshape things, drag them out. Let me close this, that popped up on accident. So like if I had something like this, that would look pretty cool. And notice all I'm doing is dragging and resizing. Again, if you want to get rid of something, click it, delete it. But now the cool thing is, now that it's on this, I can simply, let me redo that. Now that it's on here, you can lock the objects so that you don't have the opportunity to accidentally move it or get rid of it. This background here, the note card, I haven't locked because of that. I can move it. So again, I would simply click it and lock it. Now it's, oops, that was the dog picture of the dog. This is dogs plural. I show you here again, click it, lock, and now that's set. So what have we reviewed so far? We've reviewed how to add a background, how to add a frame, how to add site color to the outer edges. We've reviewed how to add text, titles, paragraph, and a note. So you've got basically the main ideas down. We've also reviewed how to integrate or put in a picture. Okay, so the next part. Now, how do you create multiple pages? I'm about to show you. Dun dun dun. This is basically the main part that makes a web page look cool and really like a true web page. So here's the idea. Off to the right hand side here, you'll notice this says Page Manager. What you want to do is click on Add Master Page. Then you want to click on Add Master Page again. And then you want to click on it again. And again. And notice that every time you click it, it takes you to a new area. Okay, so let me say this a few times. If you want to work on your home page, you'd simply click on the main portion here. So now that you have these, I'm gonna rename them so that it's easier. So I'm gonna rename this, instead of my website, I'm going to rename it Home Page. The next one I'm going to rename to Test A. Just like that. Test A. The next one I'll rename will be Test B. And the rest I'll leave for you, this way you can see what's going to happen in a few seconds. So now here I have my home page, Test A, Test B. And you don't have to have your students do it this way. Whatever suits your needs best is what I would recommend for you. After that, you want to come back to add. Now you want to click on let me find it here, navigation. From navigation, you're going to go to menus, because what we're going to do here is essentially add a menu. Rather than going through all of these, I'm just going to click on one that's feasible, very first one. Notice now the menu popped up right here. I'm just going to drag it up, and again, my favorite thing to save myself time, I'm going to stretch it out. And now that it's stretched out, you can, by the way, one of two things: stretch it out from a corner, that makes it bigger or smaller. Stretch it out from this area and it simply makes it longer. Okay, cool. So now you've learned how to create various pages on your website. You've also learned how to create a menu. This part's the menu. Okay, so now what next? Here's a really cool feature about this website that others don't have. You can copy an item. So all I did was right click it, and right now, in case you're wondering what I'm copying, that would be the title overhead. So I'd simply right click it, click on copy item, because I want to copy that. Let me try that one more time. Copy item. After that, I'd move to test A. Notice I'm clicking it on the right hand side. Right click in and then simply paste item, and I've got it here. Okay, cool. So a really cool thing that you can do with this website is copy and paste things in from one page to another page. For example, here I'm working on homepage A. Remember, I'm just clicking on the page manager. You can also click on the background and basically copy the whole background into another area. So just copy that background, moving on to test A. Give it a few seconds so it pops up here. Paste item. Oops. And that's why I ended up pasting the title twice. Get rid of that. But for the most part, that's the main idea. You can copy and paste things in from one page into another. Let me make sure I'm doing this adequately. Now I want to copy the item, move on to test A, round 2 here. After I do that, come right over here, paste in the item, and cool, we got our splatter effect. Or again, you can also just come over here, click on master page, and go that route and add everything in, or click on add text. For certain things, it's a lot easier. For example, the menu is really easy to just copy and paste into each different page that you have. Like here, I would simply copy the menu, click over here, test A, paste it in, click over here, test B, paste it in, and do that with all of those. Another interesting thing for you to do is, man, let me think here. We've covered just about everything here. Okay, so let's review real quick. We've got the background, the frame, the outer frame. We've reviewed the title. We've reviewed a menu. We've reviewed pictures, paragraphs, kind of like that background. Here's another one I wanted to review with you, page part. Simply areas. From here, there are other menus or other page areas that you can add or click on that make things a little more interesting also. So one example would be this 3D corner. Say I wanted to come put that in here. Just click it, drag it in here. Then of course, let me send it to the front. Bring to front. Bring to front. Cool. Now I have it here. Pretty simple from here on out. Just click it. You can click it and move it. Or not, in my case. So I might want to unlock it. That'll be helpful.
Yeah, so that's one of the tricky parts with this. Sometimes you have to be careful with what you're locking and what you're moving, because sometimes it gets a little confusing. I'd want to lock that back. And what am I going to do? Simply go edit, undo, get rid of that for a second, edit, undo, get rid of that, and go edit, undo a third time so that I can finally just get rid of the little box. I don't want it there. So that's another way of adding a page part, rather than through clicking on add, text, notes, and then deleting whatever's on the note. So this makes the website look a little bit more professional, and pretty soon your students will be at this. So a difference, I ran you through all of the main ideas here. One thing for you, the lesson plan follows this framework, or these steps, pretty strictly. I think the lesson plan follows it very well, I'd say. A few things for you, or extra notes. Your students are really going to pick up on this much faster than us adults can. Students will tend to learn this in a very short amount of time, whereas it takes us slightly longer. I want to say one of the reasons for that is they've just been introduced, or they work with technology on more of a basis than adults do, in a sense. And because of that, they just learn it a little bit faster. So an example, I might show my students how to get to the site, and then teach them a few things, let them experiment with it one day. Another day, come back, teach them a few other things, let them experiment. And as they're experimenting, that's a really important process, because they're learning more about the program themselves. And before you know it, they'll have surpassed your own knowledge base about the program and working with it. Okay, so we've reviewed all that. You got a little info there. Now here comes the very last part. The last portion is actually in regards to saving it. To save it, it's really easy. Up at the top, all you have to do is click on save. After that, the difference is I have a paid for account here. So with my paid account, I can actually name my website. If you don't pay for the website, it works exactly the same way. The only difference is it tells you what your website name will be. So all you have to do is copy that and paste it in, and you should be good to go. So like, I'll name this test, and then I'll click on OK. So the difference with yours would be that it'll give you the name itself, and you'll have to stick with whatever they give you just because it's free. And the final step to actually publish it online is simple. All you do is click on publish, and when you click on publish, it'll give you the site address right up here. I just highlighted it. So mine would be www.wix.com/wildcatorevolu/test123. You could copy that, write it down somewhere, and your students can actually then click on publish and see their published work, which is a really cool thing. And I'll do that here, and we'll take a look at it right now. Let me just copy that. Got it. Then click on publish, and it's going to actually publish the website for us and basically everything that we've done. Now I want to click on go, and this is actually taking me to the website that I just created. So it's really simple. From here, say I wanted to navigate, I'd click on test A, move on. This is kind of like that page we're experimenting with a little bit. Notice there's nothing on here. Reason for that could be because I got rid of things. One important part that I should mention: if you don't include a menu, you're not going to be able to move back and forth on it, just so everyone's aware, because that's a really important part. So if you don't include a menu, you won't be able to navigate once you're on the actual website. Come back here. Yeah, so here I didn't include a menu. This portion right up here on the other pages, because of that I wouldn't be able to navigate through the web page or through the website. So that's a really important part. And in regards to how to apply this with your students, some ideas: instead of homepage, you could have about the author section, maybe like some kind of stick figure image here with writing about the students and why they created their comic, and maybe what it was about. For your next option here, maybe something like characters, where your students are giving a brief bio of the characters within the stories. Here, setting, maybe they could find an image and then of course write about the setting. Here, conflict, what was the conflict that occurred within the comic. Here, the resolution, how was it fixed. This is basically, in a sense, kind of like a book report, but based on a comic, and your students are creating a website. They should keep the various elements of art in mind as they're creating this, so they should be thinking of line, of shapes, what appeals to the eye more so. And that's basically it in a nutshell. Thanks a lot, and I hope this helped. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to post them to our comment board or our message board on usaexperience.org, and feel free to check that out. Any questions, feel free to post them there. I'll also be updating the site fairly soon, so that should be somewhat of a help. Thanks again, and I hope you enjoyed. Take it easy. Bye.